All right, everybody, this is my very first YouTube video. I guess a short introduction. I'm Average Aaron. Just a average guy who likes to work out, um, and likes to run my mouth. So figured I'd put those together and see if anybody wanted to watch. Um, so to get into it, today's bench press day. So you can see I'm warming up. Here started with 135, went to 185. I did 10 with 135, 5 with 185. Now I'm doing 2 with 225. And what I'm warming up to is a 1 rep max. I like to do max out days quite a bit. I know that's probably not the correct way to do things scientifically, but as you'll probably see, I do most of this stuff just because I want to, because I think it's fun. So I don't always do the things that you're supposed to do to get bigger or stronger. I just do the things that I enjoy. And then the side effects have been that I got stronger and bigger. So I actually was on a run here over the last couple of weeks, which you'll see in a minute. I'll bring my journal up where I was maxing out every day and adding 5 pounds to my max every day. I'll do this every once in a while, and I always assume the reason it works is because I was strong enough to do the heaviest weight on the first day, but my nervous system just wouldn't allow it. So that's always been my guess. So I guess what I'm really doing is just getting my nervous system up to the point where it would let me handle the heaviest weight. So, anyways, let's get back to it. I'm going to hit 2 on this 225. You can see it's a little chilly in the basement this morning. I had to keep the hoodie on and some pants on. And my basement's it's underground on the back side of the house, and it's open on the front. So it does get cold, but it never gets down to freezing. Jumping up to 275. Felt pretty good. 315. And I'm not taking much rest in between these, just enough time to change the plates when I'm warming up. I do think maybe I should have hit 2 sets at 135 and got a little warmer, but honestly, I just forgot to do it. So it's 365. This is where I started a couple weeks ago. And this ended up feeling pretty good. Again, I don't recommend maxing. I know most of the science-based channels and exercise scientists do not recommend maxing out on a regular basis unless you're in a competition, but it's honestly the most fun to me, so I like to do it. So if you look, I know my handwriting's horrible in the lighting's terrible, but you can see where it says 124.26. I started 365. And then the next day I added 10 pounds. And then the day after that I added 5. And then the day after that I added another 5. So I made pretty big jumps. But again, I assume I was strong enough to lift 385 and more on the 24th, but my nervous system it was too, that would have been too heavy. It just wouldn't have let me do it. So I gotta slowly take that governor off, and so now I'm jumping up to 390 today, and let's see what happens. Getting it to the front of the J cups always makes it a little easier. And when I unracked this, it felt really good until right here. I hit the wall. Thank goodness for those catch bars. That was probably the best purchase I made outside of the squat rack itself, because it let me use heavy weights. But anyways, failed that. No big deal, because it felt pretty good. I think maybe next week I'll hit it, make my way up to 400, hopefully over the next couple of months. So then I moved into my actual workout. I'm gonna use 315, and for right now, in the future, I've planned on just using 315 and trying to get my total sets and reps up. Maybe to 5 sets of 10 would be really cool. I think that would take 6 months to a year. It'd probably take a while, but I might get bored of that and change. Again, this is just a hobby to me. I do love the side effects of getting stronger, of being healthier, being in shape, but it's really a hobby. I feel like this is what guys feel like when they go play golf on the weekends or pick up basketball or something. This is just what I like to do with my spare time. So I've kind of figured in the last couple years, if it's just going to be a hobby, I might as well do the things I want to do. And you'll see as the channel continues, I don't just lift weights, do a little cardio, um, do some plyometric stuff. I like to lift stones. So I'll end up showing all that stuff, calisthenics. But my favorite thing to do is the powerlifting movements, bench press, squat, deadlift, and everything's kind of built around that. But again, it's just a hobby. So I do things I like to do. I do what feels good when it comes to sets and reps. I'll do what feels good when it stops feeling good. I'll switch it up, do something different. Um, Again, I'm not a scientist. I don't recommend this for anybody, but it has worked for me, and I have a lot of fun doing it. So, anyways, let's watch me try to do as many reps as I can with 315. I don't arch a whole lot. I like to pinch my shoulder blades up underneath me, and I get a little arch. Honestly, it feels like a big arch, but looking at it on camera, it's not very big. I got 4. That's what I got on my first set last time I bench pressed. Last time I did a workout. I'm going to end up doing 5 sets. actually felt pretty good. Last time I did a workout, I had a lot of soreness in my left chest and bicep, which I still have, but it's getting better. Got a little warm, so I had to drop down to the t-shirt. And so last time I got first set of 4, second set of 4, and then I dropped down to 3. Wasn't able to get 4 again. But this time I was able to continue even after doing a 1 rep max, which made me feel pretty good. Now I'm on the right track, getting stronger. Ended up adding 3 reps, I think, to the whole workout. And again, I know there's better ways. There's better sets and reps schemes. There's I should probably be adding weight and keeping it at sets of 3 or sets. I should work up to sets of 5 and then add weight, but I'm just doing what is fun to me. And in my mind, it's kind of exciting to work up to being able to do sets of 10 with 315. And again, I might get to doing sets of 8 and it don't feel good, or I want to do something else. So I'll switch. I got my 5th set of 4. It felt pretty good. I'm going to move over to bent over rows, but I start with these 1-arm rows just to feel my lats a little more. I can always feel my lats really good on dumbbell rows, 1-arm dumbbell rows. So I try to do it just to get that mind-muscle connection before I move on to the barbell row, which is a little harder for me to feel my lats. And my goal here with barbell row, usually I'm doing sets of 10, just trying to build a bigger back. And I will do set of 10 here with 135 warming up. But this year I've got a goal. I got a stone out in the yard that's about 310, and I'd like to be able to get it up to my chest and up to my shoulder one day, possible. And I can clear it from the ground sometimes, but I can't row it up into my lap. So I'm going a little heavier than I normally would with my rows. So you can see I got a little body English, cheating a little bit, but it's really, I've assigned the rows to try and help bro that stone up into my lap. So I'm going to have to go a little heavier and maybe cheat a little bit. I actually did the same weight last time, but the reps were quite a bit worse. I cheated a lot. So on this one, they were a little cleaner. I was okay with the way it felt. So I'll probably move up in weight just 10 pounds. Maybe only 5, but we'll see. But just you can see I got a different bar. I got 3 different Olympic bars. This is a Rogue. It was their Echo bars, like their cheapest bar. And the reason I ended up getting a different one was because it doesn't have knurling in the center. And so it made it a little harder to squat. It didn't want to stick on my back. It wanted to slide. So I use this one for deadlifts and rows, stuff like that. And then I have a different bar for squats that has knurling in the middle. I think it's an Ohio Power Bar. It has knurling in the middle. And then I had a different bar somebody gave me for bench press. And I used that bar because it's actually a little skinny. It's a cap bar. It's like a cap barbell, pretty cheap. So it's skinnier than these Rogue bars, and I can get a better grip on it, and it feels a little better because I have twice I have dropped 315. Luckily I had the catch bars, or I don't know, I might be dead right now, but those catch bars caught it, and one of the changes I made was, and what happened was I unracked the bar and the plate started turning. And even though the collar spin, it started turning the bar in my hand. And my thumb wasn't able to keep it in my hand, so it rolled out and fell into the catch bars. So when I got that cap barbell, it was skinnier and I could get a better grip on it. Now it doesn't, I've weighed all my plates and my bars to see what they actually weigh because I bought them all used. And I wanted to make sure I could load the bars evenly. I didn't want to put all my plates that were heavier than 45 on one side and all the ones that were lighter. So I ended up splitting them up on the weight tree to make sure they're always even, to the best of my knowledge. But that bench press barbell only weighs 39 and a half pounds. So, but with my with my plates, all the 45s were typically, a lot of them are heavier than 45. So by the time I get to 315, it actually does weigh 315. So it's, I don't know, it's kind of funny system to have, I guess, but this barbell from Rogue actually does weigh 45 pounds. It's a little thicker, so I like to use it for deadlifts and stuff. It holds up a little better. I was afraid to use that cap barbell a ton for squats and deadlifts. I was afraid it already has a slight bend in it. Nothing crazy, but I don't want it to bend more. So, anyways, we'll watch these last sets. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching my first video. I hope you liked it, and I'll get some more out later this week.